This is just awesome.
What's up guys, Frullani here and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to this channel, there's one thing you need to know. I make videos with and about the Canon 90D, the Canon EOS R, the Canon M50 and the Canon R6. This one filming right now. Today I woke up early as usual, like 6. I had coffee, then I grabbed my camera and my camera bag and I came here on the beach. It's just awesome. I love the beach early in the morning, but okay, what am I gonna talk about in this video? I'm gonna talk about what I like, what I love about this camera, the Canon R6. The first thing I like about this camera is that it's a full frame, so it's definitely more versatile than a crop sensor camera, and especially if I want to film myself, because already at 18mm, for example, I'm able to get very wide shots and film myself. In this case, I'm using a 16 to 35mm. So look how wide it is, and consider that there is a little crop in 4K, because in 1080 would be a little bit wider, but more or less you get the idea. And by the way, that brings me to the second thing I like about this camera, the 4K. Its 4K is just fantastic. And unlike other cameras like the Canon EOS R that crops a lot, 1.7, something like that, this doesn't crop that much, just tiny little bit. I can shoot 4K 60 and that's amazing. The quality is just awesome, and I can slow it down in post by 50% and it's really good. I use 4K 60 all the time for my B-roll when I don't shoot in real-time speed. And that brings me to the third thing that I like about this camera, because it's still slow motion related. The fact that we have 120 frames per second in 1080, and when we shoot in that mode, we don't lose the dual pixel autofocus. And that's really important, because on my other cameras like the Canon 90D and the Canon EOS R, we have some disadvantages when we shoot in 1080 120 frames per second. On both cameras, the EOS R and the 90D, in high frame rates, like 120 frames per second, we lose the dual pixel autofocus. When we have to film in super slow motion, we can focus before we start to film. But then when we press the red button, we can't focus anymore. The focus will stay right there. So you have to make things do, and use your imagination to keep the subject in focus. And if you want to pull focus with those cameras, it's not gonna happen. And also on the Canon EOS R, when we shoot 120 frames per second, it's not even in 1080. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It's in 720p. Alright, so on the Canon R6, we have 120 frames per second in 1080 with dual pixel autofocus. That's awesome. Man, it's getting hot. Forgive me, but much better. Sun is going up, and so the temperature. Let's continue. Another thing that I like about this camera, the Canon R6, is the ecosystem. What do I mean? The lenses we can use with it, like RF glass, is just awesome and kind of expensive, but that's not a problem if you already have EF or EFS lenses, because with the adapter you can use them. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, right now I'm using the 16 to 35mm, and it's an EF lens. 16 to 35mm f2.8 Mark II, version 2, Mark II. I heard it both ways. And I guarantee you, it works great, because honestly, even if this lens doesn't have stabilization like the RF version that has stabilization, this one, no. But that brings me to the next thing, I love about this camera, and it's Ibis, in-body stabilization. And I mean, it's just fantastic, you know. I always shoot my B-rolls, not always, but like most of the times, like handheld. With the Canon EOS R or the 90D, sometimes is a little bit tricky with the lens that does not have stabilization. But with this one, with this camera, with the Canon R6, with Ibis, man, I feel like I'm using a gimbal, you know? It's like amazing, just incredible. Of course, for paid works, you know, I don't want to take any chance. So if I need a really steady shot, I'm definitely using a gimbal. I would definitely prefer using a gimbal. But I mean, for my videos, for my own things, and especially for my YouTube channel, well, I don't need a gimbal. So these are the things I like most about this camera, and that actually has become my favorite camera. That's basically about it. Alright, so I guess I said all I had to say, just some updates here. I tried to continue my diet and workout, but I'm not ready yet. I still don't look the way I'm supposed to, the way I want to, and besides, last night I went to some awesome Italian restaurants and I had some huge, awesome, delicious, fantastic pizza, and I'm sure I'm gonna pay for it in terms of fat or whatever. Now I'm gonna go back home, gonna have breakfast, and then I'll spend the rest of the day either here on the beach or at swimming pool. I will see. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button right now and subscribe if you aren't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video.